Hi families and friends. I have a read aloud that we're going to do today and ask a question that I want you to write a response to after we read. So this story is called The Three Hens and the Peacock. And as we're reading, I want you to think about the characters and what lesson that they are going to learn throughout the story. There's a lesson or a message that the author wants us to know, or a lesson that the characters learn. And at the end, I want you to write the lesson that each character learned from the story, or the message the author wanted us to get from the story, okay? I want you to write it down, and you can either share it with a family member or try and type it into Class Dojo and send the response back to me, or type it in Google Docs, okay? Here we go. The Three Hens and a Peacock. Things were quiet on Tucker's farm. The cows chewed their cuds, the hens clucked and pecked and laid their eggs. The old hound stretched out on the porch, watching and listening. Once in a while, someone would stop by to buy tomatoes, corn, perhaps a quart of milk. Nothing unusual ever happened here until that peacock showed up. The cows and the hens and the old hound kept right on doing what they always do. But that peacock never lived on a farm. He had no idea what to do. So he spread his fancy feathers and set to shrieking. Eventually, the peacock wandered down the road. When the cars whizzed by, he shook his feathers and cried out his loudest voice. Of course, folks stopped for a closer look. Day after day, more folks stopped to admire the peacock, and they bought tomatoes, corn, eggs, milk. Business on the Tucker's farm was booming. Everyone seems to be happy to have visitors stopping by. Oh, everybody except for who? But trouble was brewing in the hen house. The hens were squawking and clucking and flapping their wings. We do all the work around here. I'd like to see that peacock lay an egg. Exactly. He just struts around screaming. I suppose fancy feathers are more important than laying eggs. That lazy peacock gets all the attention, and we do all the work. Oh no, he overheard them. The peacock had heard every word. For days he moped about, moaning and groaning. I wish I could be more helpful around here. Humph, clucked one hen. The others ruffled their feathers. The old hound stretched out slowly, raised his head. Why not let the peacock stay here to be useful while you hens take the glamorous job down the road? The three hens began clucking to one another. What a wonderful plan. Yeah, it's a fabulous idea. Oh, ladies, we simply must fancy up our feathers tonight and nothing but our brightest beads and bangles and bows. We'll stop traffic for sure. Why, you girls know I can strut with the best of them. The peacock perked up. Let's do it, he declared. Tomorrow I'll stay here, sit on the nest and cluck, and we'll get all gussied up, and said the hens, and we'll be so glamorous. At sunrise the next morning, the hens strutted down the road. The peacock marched right into the hen house and poked his head inside. Do you think this is a good plan? Do you think their plan is going to work? What do you think? The hens flocked down by the road, waiting for cars. When they saw one approaching, they clucked and squawked and flapped their wings and flurried their feathers, but every car whizzed right on by. The peacock sucked in his tummy and wiggled left and right, trying to squeeze in through the tiny hen house door. His front half was in, his back half was out. Down by the road, the hens tried every trick they knew. Still no cars stopped. Finally, the peacock made his way into the hen house. He held his breath and pushed with all his might, but no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't lay one single egg, not even one. The old hound stretched out on the porch, watching and listening. "What's that peacock doing in the hen house?" asked the farmer Tucker. "Who knows?" said Mrs. Tucker. "And what are those hens doing down the road? Not one of them is here laying an egg." Well, the way things are going, we aren't likely to have anyone buying eggs today," said Farmer Tucker. "We need that peacock down there stopping cars." When the peacock heard that, he smiled, the biggest smile you ever saw on the bird's beak. "I am helping," he thought. He squirmed back and forth, trying to pop out of that cramped hen house. Then he trotted off to find the hens. The exhausted hens were all clucked out. Every feather was out of place. What a day. "We couldn't even get one car to stop. It's true. Why, most of them didn't even slow down." Oh, these hens worked really hard for what? For nothing. They couldn't even get one car to stop. The peacocks met the hen, and as they trudged up the road, "I can tell you, I'm no good at laying eggs," he said. I'm just not meant for it." One hen nodded. "I put on my stellar strut and even I couldn't stop a single car," she said. "I have to hand it to you. Fancy feathers, your job is harder than it looks." The other hens agreed. The peacock looked relieved. Why do you think he looked relieved? When the hen said that the other hens agreed. That your job is harder than it looks. Maybe he realized he was being helpful and what he was doing was helpful, and it's kind of hard to look pretty all the time. So the hens marched back to the hen house. The peacock strutted down the road. The old hound stretched out on the porch watching and listening, and things were quiet again on Tucker's farm. Okay, I want you to think about what was the lesson that the characters learned in the story. At the end, there was a message or a lesson that they ended up learning. So go ahead and write that down or share that with somebody.